Maybe we've all experienced waking up while sleeping because we're going to pee. But did you know that this incident saved a man because he went to CR to urinate? It saved him from the sinking of their ship. And the miracle here is that he was the only one who lived among them all. How did this happen? How he survived under the sea for 3 days. That's what we will find out here in World Viral Stories. Let's meet Harrison Okene, the sole survivor of a shipwreck in the Atlantic Ocean. Before we continue, please subscribe to my channel so that you are always updated on every viral story in the world. The Gulf of Guinea in the Atlantic Ocean is rich in oil, so many offshore oil rigs do drilling operations in this ocean. On May 26, 2013, a company called Chevron Corporation sent 3 ships. Those 3 ships did not stop drilling even though the waves were strong that day. Their mistake: the 3rd ship filled the tankers with oil even though they knew that the waves were strong during those times. On the evening of that day, they locked their rooms. They also locked the main door of the ship because pirates were widespread in that ocean, and they were afraid that the pirates might enter them. 4:30 in the morning, while they were all fast asleep, Harrison Okene woke up because he was about to pee. Harrison Okene was a cook on this ship. When he was about to enter CR, he felt that the waves were different at that time. But he didn't pay attention because he was still very sleepy and peeing. When he was about to urinate, only a few minutes passed, and suddenly strong waves hit their ship one after another, like a giant punching their ship. He rolled inside the CR with his shorts still down. He remembered that their ship was fully loaded with oil, so if someone struck again like that, their ship would capsize. When he was about to stand up, another strong wave hit. Here their ship slowly capsized. The water came in quickly because the ship was already capsized and slowly sinking. His 10 colleagues were in their respective rooms, and since the rooms were locked, they could not open the door immediately because of the force and pressure of the water pushing the door. Harrison pushed the CR door hard to get out, but it was very difficult for him because of the pressure of the water pushing it. Here he saw his colleagues who panicked and swam out, but unfortunately, due to the size of the water and the force that entered the ship, his companions were swept away. He was very scared when he saw his colleagues drowning. While he was looking, he didn't realize that the big water was also coming. He couldn't stop saying, my Lord, helps us." He was blown to the other CR with a large air pocket in it. An air pocket is a space in an area that contains oxygen. He quickly grabbed the upside-down wash basin so that his head was raised above the water, while half of his body was submerged in the water. A minute passed. He felt that their ship had hit the deepest part of the sea. The depth of this sea was 100 feet, so their ship remained at the bottom of the sea upside down. When their ship sank, the follow-up rescue operation of other ships immediately followed. Other helicopters also arrived to confirm in other parts of the sea if there were any survivors there. The diving crew dived to find the sunken ship. When they saw the ship, they dropped an anchor to signal the rescuer, and the anchor hit the sunken ship. Harrison Okene heard and felt this. He responded by hitting the wall. Unfortunately, the rescue divers did not hear because they did not reach the location of the ship. And because they are not ready for deep diving, they are only on the surface of the sea and they are only here for a few minutes. The divers just looked from a distance. They checked if there were any signs of survivors. When they were sure that there were no survivors, they went up. What they didn't know was that there was a survivor inside the ship. Harrison had been inside the CR for almost a day, so he thought of swimming to see if he could find a tunnel. He was a little dizzy at what he saw because the ship and things were upside down. While he was swimming, he saw his other colleagues who floating, so he was a little scared and sad, but he didn't lose his sadness and he continued swimming until he landed at the engineer's office. He stopped here and he was lucky because the air pocket was bigger. The air pocket here was almost 4 feet. So he didn't have problems with oxygen. His body was soaked in water for a long time and he was cold. It is quite dangerous because it can cause hypothermia. What is hypothermia? This is a condition of our body that rapidly drops the temperature that can kill us. While he was in the engineer's office, he found tools that he could use here. He was cold from the time his body was soaked in water. So he thought he needed to make a base, so what he did was he broke another part of the wall panel. And he also saw a floating bed. What he did was he put them on top of each other, and when he was sure that his feet would not sink, he went up and laid down on it. He sat here for so long that he avoided hypothermia. The case he was very hungry and very thirsty, and what he did was drink sea water to quench his thirst and hunger. He was also crying because he remembered his family. He prayed fervently and promised God that if save him from the capsized ship, he will never return to the sea to work on a ship forever. Part 2 of this story is in the description link.